Okay, so this is our second session, the session on gender issues. We are going to see the results of the questionnaire, as you know, and then we are asking the questions. And today the expert is Caterina del Colle, who has been helping us, but also she also has a doctorate on women's studies. Okay, so we are going to start with the graphs. Please, Justin.
The first question is, in your opinion, are there stereotypes about women and men in your community, town, country? The answers were positive in all the country. In Greece, 91% said yes, and almost, no, in Italy, almost 94% said yes, and in Latvia, 80% said yes, and in Romania, 62% said yes. Then in Greece, 8% said no. In Italy, about 1% said no, and in Latvia, almost 90% said no, and in Romania, almost 94% said no, and in Italy, 5% said I don't know, and Latvia, about 1% said no, I don't know, and in Romania, almost 40% said I don't know.
Okay, the second question is, do you believe there are specific jobs for men and women in your country? As you can see, the people of the Greece answered 75% yes, 23.8% said no, and 1.2% said I don't know. In Italy, the people answered the 53% yes, the 39% no, and the 80% I don't know. In Latvia, the people answered the 17% yes, the 27.5% said no, the 2.5% said I don't know. And in Romania, the 55% said yes, the 41.25% said no, and the 3.75% said I don't know.
To the question, does economic discrimination against women exist in your country? In Greece, 67.5% answered no, yes. 28.7% answered no, and 3.8% answered I don't know. In Italy, 76.25% answered yes, 13% answered no, and 11% answered I don't know. In Latvia, 58.75% answered yes, 26.25% answered no, and 15% answered I don't know. In Romania, 46.25% answered yes, 35% answered no, and 18.75% answered I don't know.
So the fourth question we asked was, do you think that gender-based violence is a reality? In Greece, 93.8% answered yes, that they believe, and 3.1% answered that they don't believe so, or that they don't know. In Italy, 81.25% said yes, 3% said no, and 50.75% said that they don't know. In Latvia, 77.5% people said yes, 15% said no, and 7.5% said that they don't know. And in Romania, 72.5% said yes, 20% said no, and 7.5% said they don't know.
Do you know anti-violence centers in your region? As you can see, the yes and no answers are similar. In Greece and Italy, the answers for yes are 41%. And we have 36% in Latvia and 28% in Romania. Unfortunately, 30% answered no in Romania and Greece, 45% in Italy, and 58% in Latvia.
So the first question is, we know that gender-based violence against women is any act is any act of gender-based violence that cause or may cause physical, sexual, or psychological harm to women, and we would like to know what are the European measures to end violence against women and what Europe can add to existing measures.
Thank you for this answer that we summarized together in our online meeting, and it was not easy to summarize it. And in order to help you in follow my presentation, I have prepared a PowerPoint on it. And so now we will change screen. And I was thinking that probably the person that, the one of you that has to do the question has to change the place with the ones that has presented the graphs. Okay? Yes, the ones that have presented the graph can go back to their place, and the ones that have to present, to ask the question can sit here. Are you ready? Someone of you asked me to be very quick. I try to do it. As you see in this question, there are two questions. What European Union is doing and what is going to do, have to do. So, starting point is what has done and what we have, like a really big help from the European Union in fighting against gender violence. First of all, I will let someone of you could read this slide, but I please don't joke with my microphone, because we can know who is joking, because the technical is giving us a report. So please don't do it. So I was telling you that the Istanbul Convention was made in 2011. After 6 years, in 2017, it was signed by the European Union. It means that the European Union agree with it. And only in the 2023, it became legally binding for all the European countries. But we have here a Latvian school, and I know that you know that Latvia is one of the countries that have not signed this convention. With Latvia, we have also Hungary, Czech Republic, Lithuania, and Slovakia. It means that in these countries, this convention is not legally binding, of course. And I think that you have to remind why we are here doing this session, because we have collected questions on gender issues and on the other issues that you have studied, and you have the next year, you have to spread our answers and your research, of course, also, in your territories. And I think it will be very interesting for you in Latvia particularly, but I think in each of our countries to have table of discussion, assembly, events, in which you put a critical point of view. Why it's important, why it's not important, why the signing of this convention. why there are some countries that have not signed it. And we are only offering you instruments to think about it. We are not giving you answers. We are giving you knowledge. And we trust in your critical point of view. So if 5 countries didn't sign it, it will be, there are reasons. Do you agree with the reasons or not? You have not to be, if I'm Latvian, I agree with this. No, of course. Probably someone from Greece will say, I agree with Latvia. Someone from Latvia could say, I don't agree with my government. Because, why I'm suggesting you this? Because we hope that you could have a critical point of view, an authentic, original, your point of view. Because you are the new generation, new active citizens, and you have to have a point of view. That's why we offered you a course, we offered you this session, in order to offer you material on which you have to think about. And the next year, you have to go on with it in your countries, organizing events. So, what have done European Union against gender violence? The signing and the legally binding of the Convention of Istanbul. The second thing that European Union has done has created a strategy on gender equality. What is a strategy? A strategy is a plan of action. A lot of action, funding, laws, policies, a lot of activities together in order to reach a goal. What is the goal of this strategy? Gender equality. This strategy is important not only for fight gender violence. It's important also to arrive to have gender equality in a huge sense. But we are now speaking about gender violence, yes. In these strategies, Europe is deciding, is offering opportunities in order to overcome gender violence and stereotypes that promote inequality. This gender strategy you can see on this little window on the left on your screen, of your screen, that is a strategy that started in 2020 and will finish when you will finish this project, in 2025. So in 2025 there will be a balance. Europe will say, have we reached our goals? Is Europe less violent against women now in 2025 than it was before the 2020? You will have these results, and all of us will hope that are good results. But also this result, you can see this result, you can read this result with a critical point of view. Okay? This is the importance of this opportunity that we are giving you. So this is only a slide to summarize what I told you. We have milestones on the European activity against gender violence, and our milestones are the Convention of Istanbul, created in 2011, signed in 2017, and legally binding in 2023. All of you, as active citizen, expert in this field, has to know this milestone. Also, if you don't agree, but you have to know. And the other milestone is the EU Gender Equality Strategy. There are also further commitments against gender violence. Of course, legislation. You know that there are some laws, European laws, that are directly effective in each country. There are other laws in which Europe also asks to the country to follow this horizon and to do laws in this direction. So, doing laws, European Union is taking care of these issues, of overcoming or fighting against gender violence. There is another program, and I suggest you also in your events also to share your knowledge also regarding the fundings. This is another program that is named Daphne program. And what is this program? They give funds, they give money, like we received money. You are here because we received money from Europe for you, for each of you. And so there are other funds for the organization that are working against gender violence. And if you have an event, probably in this event could be someone that work in a field that is related with the fight against gender violence. And through you, they could know that there are funding for their activities. And they can ask for fundings. And they can do things through you. So this is also the sense of your study, of your knowledge, and of your commitment in the field. Of course, there is also another commitment of Europe is to share good practices. If a group, an institution, do something that is effective, there is a data collection, there is a network in Europe, and this activity that was good, that has good results, can inspire someone in another part of the continent, in another part of the Union, because there is a sharing of good practice. There is data collection, and also another help is the support on the research on the field, what we have to do, what is effective, what can help us in fighting against gender violence. There is a research of sociologists, psychologists, politicians, experts in different fields, funded by the European Union. Don't be afraid of this very full slide. This slide is related to what Europe has to do additional measure. What are possible additional measures? You can read and see that there are a lot of fields in which Europe can do something more. And I hope that you will read and study these slides when you are back at home and when you have to organize events, because you have to know what are the additional measures that EU is going to do in order to fight gender violence. I will give only some words on the first one, legal harmonization. Also, the other expert in the other issue was telling you that the translation is an art, is an effort, and is a challenge. We have the same word, but different meanings. And imagine what it means regarding penalties and crimes. So, one of the things that Europe is doing is trying to harmonize, to create common definition on the penalties for gender-based violence in order to create a system that is a common system.
The second question is, what is the already existing European legislation on preventing discrimination against women and promoting gender equality?
political point of view, and it is an open question also for the table for the events that you will organize in your territories. You can put this question to people. Another point is the EU gender equality strategy, and we have spoken about it. This is the gender equality strategy from 2020 to 2024. And in this equality strategy, there is also a point, a focus on the gender discrimination, on the help for equal treatment for women and men. Of course, there are also laws. There is a legislation in which the European Union is working for create the better environment, the better situation for avoid this problem of discrimination against women. There is also the Council of Europe standard. Also, the Council of Europe is working on promote women's advancement and gender equality through standards and policies. And you will have the opportunity to in-depth this point when you will have your event on the topic. And I don't know if you know that in the European Parliament there is a committee, a standing committee dedicated to gender equality. And this committee has the point as exactly the focus, the aim to create the better situation in order to overcome the disequality. And we have also the Gender Equality Week. We will have this Gender Equality Week also this year. Usually is at the end of October. So probably it could be also a good moment to organize an event on this topic.
Okay, so the third question is, what are these okay. Take in order to prevent discrimination against women and to promote gender equality?
Thank you. So, what is going to do? What is going to do? There is another milestone that you have to know is this convention of the United Nations that is the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. It is a treaty since the 1979 that is one of the most widely ratified human rights treaties. It was signed by 189 nations. It means that it is a treaty important on topic recognized by in a worldwide horizon. And so something that the European Union is going to do is encouraging the removal of reservation in this treaty, in trusting in this treaty that conflict with its goal. Also, another important issue on which European Union is working and has to work more is language. And I suggest you also to have discussion in your school regarding this. It's really important, the language, in order to overcome stereotypes and discrimination. Our language is not a problem. It's emphasized. What is language? Sometimes people are annoyed about it. Language, oh, please, this is a detail. We have to speak of important things. What is a word? And it is a question that I ask to each of you. Is really important language or not? How much is important? We have not the time. It's a pity, but we have not the time to have now a discussion, but I hope that this evening, in the next day, in the next year, when you have to work on it, you will have this kind of discussion in your group, in your class, in your school, in your territories, because now you are becoming only joking. Sometimes people say sexist phrase and say, I'm joking. What's the difference between a joke and between a sexist language? So this is a topic on which Europe is working, has to work, and you have to think about it. As you see, there are also other topics, as you are reading on your screen. Another topic on which Europe has to work is the flexibility in the employment in order to permit to have a family, to have children. Because not only women has to take care of children. And people that have children has not to stay in the situation in which you have to decide or the work or the children. It is crazy. It is not right. And Europe is working and has to work more in order to create the condition for the flexibility of the employment. Implementing gender mainstreaming in public sector. What is gender mainstreaming? Gender mainstreaming is something like we have to reflect on this. We have to think about it. We have to, this is something that we have to stress, to underline. And Europe has to underline the gender issues in public sector. Also because the government has to be an example for the private sector. So, and promoting gender equality also in the workplace, and also adopting a pay transparency proposal, legislative proposal. What is pay transparency? Pay transparency means that you have to be transparent, you have to make everyone know what are you paying a man and what are you paying a woman. You have to be transparent. Because sometimes in private institutions, also big institutions, also in multinational agency, you don't know how is paid the person that works near you. So be transparent means be equal.
The question number 4 is, how can educators fight stereotypes that impact on students' educational experiences?
The world of schools and what the school system, I divided in 2 slides, what the school system can do and what the educators can do. What the school system can do, I can say only one word: the teacher training, educating teachers. Because each teacher has a power in his class and can stress, can underline, can help an atmosphere. So the teachers are to being aware of personal biases, because each of us bring with ourselves our tradition, our roots, our point of view, but we have to develop. We have to put in crisis our tradition, because each of us can maintain something of our roots, but also can overcome something. Of course, traditions are important, are our identity, but our identity is also our critical power of develop traditional roots. So it is significant for students and it is significant also for teachers. So what the school system has to do, the effort on promoting ongoing professional development for teachers. and what educators can do. What are the strategies for educators in order to overcome stereotypes that are implementing this equality? Of course, the first thing, the first strategy is the awareness of personal biases. Of us has the total truth. No one of us has the total rights. My vision is the right one, is the only one, and stop. Of course, it's not so, but sometimes each of us as students or teachers, we have this automatic guide in which we speak like if we have not to listen anyone, because we know everything. So promoting dialogue is something that helps us in develop our interior space. And from our interior space, is the root of our actions. Of course, another strategy is to work on cultural sensitivity. Be sensitive on differences, be sensitive on the growth of students is something that has to be implemented in order to create the better atmosphere in the class and the better results of our lessons of our schools.
What kind of European measures have been taken or are to be taken in the future to overcome gender inequality in education?
Thank you. I appreciated very much this thank you of the little ones, and I want to make it mine. And so, the European Union is working hard to make sure that each of you, that each girl, each boy, each woman, each man, have equal opportunity in education and careers. It's not a play. It's a real challenge, because each of you could start studying hard, but after you could have more opportunity if you are a man, less opportunity if you are a woman. This is the reality. And the European Union is working hard in order to overcome this problem. And what are the things that the European Union is doing? The gender equality strategy. I repeated it for the third time, because this strategy has a lot of focus. And one of the focus is on education, is on overcome stereotype in educational system. One of the things that you can do in your school is also to have an open table on stereotypes in your school. And you can have dialogue with your teachers, with your principal, in order to create a better atmosphere in your school. You can start by your class, going on in your school. You have to feel that European Union has invested in you, in each of you as active citizens, and through you, things can change in your class, in your school, in your territory. It depends on your commitment. There is also another action that I have copied and written in this slide, because I think it's interesting also to know, to see also this detail that European Union is working also for the countries that are outside European Union. Also, this could be a possible discussion on the field of the first topic, Europe, because we have here EU Gender Action Plan, the third. That is a plan that highlights the importance of gender equality in education, and is a plan that is adopted for the outside Europe countries. And also in this case, because I know that it would be too longer for us, I suggest you to think about it. Why? Why European Union is giving money to help countries that are outside Europe? What is the benefit that Europe will have if other countries develop in this issue or in other issues? What is the benefit that we will have if other countries have better laws, better level of life, if they are reach goals related to human rights? I trust in your answer, or in your research. If you don't have an answer, before saying they are failing, it is not good, it is not a good, before saying that this is not a good affair, you can think about it. You can research on it, because if they did it, if they do it, they are experts, they know that there are reasons, Another thing that I want to underline is the effort in Europe on the fields of study and career that are usually related to men. We think usually this is a field for men. And Europe is saying, no, there are not fields for men. There are fields for human beings that are interested in them. These fields are named with the acronym STEM, that of course every one of you know, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So there are a lot of fundings in order to permit to girls to study and to work on these fields, and also in the fields of technology, the ICT field. We are saying that there is a gender mainstreaming in education in Europe. Think about it, reflect on it, work on education in order to have a better Europe in the respect of genders. So these actions show that the European Union is committed to promoting gender equality in education and addressing the issues that lead to gender disparity in different fields.